It is a Nari Shakti push by the Bharatiya Janata Party led by Prime Minister Modi, and one of the key candidates from Bengal has been Rekha Patra, the survivor of the Sandeshkhali exploitation network, specifically the charges that have come in that case. This is an India Today exclusive news break. We spoke to Rekha Patra, the candidate who had a conversation also with Prime Minister Narendra Modi about how her courage and bravery to speak up against the goons, hooligans who have literally run an extortion harassment network and have been able to speak against them, get some of them arrested as well. She's now Basirhat candidate, Rekha Patra, exclusively speaking to India Today, and has said, remember, and that she's a young mother facing the top in the echelons of power in Bengal. She's also standing, she says, standing against Mamata Banerjee's wild politics and how Hindu women were thrown to the wolves.
আমাকে টিকিট দেওয়া হয়েছে, আমাকে কনভেনার বানানো হয়েছে, এর জন্য আমি খুশি। আমার জন্য যদি ক্যাম্পিং করতে আসেন আমি তো অনেকই খুশি হব। আমার থেকে খুশি হবে আমার যে নির্যাতিত মায়েরা আছে, ওনারাই বেশি খুশি হবে। এতদিন ভুল পথে চলে এসেছেন, এখনো ভাবছেন হয়তো যে এটাই সঠিক, ওই জন্য বলছেন যখন সঠিক পথটা দেখতে পাবেন নিশ্চয়ই এটা আর বলবেন না। আমাকে টিকিট দেওয়া হয়েছে, আমাকে কনভেনার বানানো হয়েছে, এর জন্য আমি খুশি। আমার জন্য যদি ক্যাম্পিং করতে আসেন আমি তো অনেকই খুশি হব। আমার থেকে খুশি হবে আমার যে নির্যাতিত মায়েরা আছে, ওনারাই বেশি খুশি হবে। এতদিন ভুল পথে চলে এসেছেন, এখনো ভাবছেন হয়তো যে এটাই সঠিক, ওই জন্য বলছেন যখন সঠিক পথটা দেখতে পাবেন নিশ্চয়ই এটা আর বলবেন না।
This conversation is brought to you by Suryagini Roy, who spoke to the Basirhat Lok Sabha candidate. Suryagini, do help us understand, a woman who's never been in politics and has now decided to enter into a Lok Sabha constituency. Who will she be up against? What are the odds like for her? At this point, Prime Minister Modi directly talking to her could have also given her some encouragement.
Well, absolutely, Pooja. And, to tell our audiences on who she is, we all remember the entire developments in Sandeshkhali, and she was one of the first women, who started the protests and who leveled the allegations on Trinamool local leaders over there. And however, she was the first person to have filed a police complaint of physical harassment and molestation, following which the initial arrest of Shibu Hazra and Uttam Sardar and people like them were arrested. So she was a very, very important player in this entire Sandeshkhali protest that we had seen. The BJP has fielded her. Yesterday we spoke to her, and before we spoke to her, the Prime Minister spoke to her, and that was a big thing for her. And the Prime Minister, quote unquote, called her Shakti Swaroopa. And I asked her after her conversation with the Prime Minister that would she want the Prime Minister to come and campaign in Basirhat, which Trinamool has been winning for the past 3 terms, whether she would want it. And she said that yes, and it's not only for her, but if the Prime Minister can come to Basirhat, especially the Sandeshkhali area, it will give a strong message to the women folk over there. She's also stated to us that when the Prime Minister selecting her to be a candidate over there,
there's a lot of symbolism here. Clearly, a young woman with a little infant in her arms and also showing courage. This is clearly a Nari Shakti push by the BJP, but many would say this may appear like a David-Goliath fight as well. Will she be able to reach out to the people and say, vote for me, I will bring change to Basirhat? It will be a very important constituency to look out for, specifically after the Sandeshkhali horror that has been exposed. Thank you, Suryagini Roy, for getting us this conversation with Rekha Patra.